Now in its 9th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hello, everybody. This is Alex. This is the Ramble, and we go until midnight tonight from that city you see below you, New York. Here I am. I'm on vacation.
You look so tropical.
That's Lori Thompson, ladies and gentlemen. And we do 2 of these at a time. And what she does is she goes out and changes for the second one. Is that a whole new thing you put? What did you put over you? Is that new?
No, I just changed. I actually have them laid out. And so, my outfit's laid out. And so this is just a different color.
Oh,
I think I have too much green when I look at my laundry.
So you have your costumes ready for you.
I do. What is it, cosplaying? Yeah.
And I decided that I would suddenly go on vacation. Actually, I'm still in Florida, but I'm down the coast.
See, we are in simpatico.
Yeah.
Because the coast is being inundated right now. There's the season, which means 98 is fall.
Well, this is one of the standard backgrounds for Zoom. You even have it with Zoom, comes with Zoom as a background.
Now, I was tempted to do that, but it seemed like I would like to do my own. They would be more genuine.
Well, if you are, feel that this is too warm, it's getting hot here. Well, let's go up north a little bit. Here we go. Let's go up north. There we are.
Okay. Let's go
cold.
Let's go to Reykjavik.
Huh? Yeah.
Let's go to Reykjavik. I've heard good things about it.
Yeah. Also, here's my nighttime. I used to have this going. I used to use this actually.
That looks more like Los Angeles.
No, that's New York.
I know, but I'm just saying, as a novice.
Like don't say that to New Yorkers.
I know. It's anathema.
Nothing looks like L.A. Well, anyway, back to my apartment. Wait a minute.
Yes.
There we go.
See, that's more you, Ben.
Yeah.
Let's work with that.
But I figured as long as you were going to change your outfit, I would go get another shirt.
Yeah, I have one of those rolling things, that pretentious newsrooms have. Oh, speaking of which, have you watched the Stormy Daniels? I listened to it.
Well, this is now a couple of weeks after the Stormy Daniels thing, so when we talk about it, this is all we know at this point.
Which is kind of pivotal, yeah.
Yeah. I think it made the whole trial worth it.
Oh, totally. Totally. It's like Stormy's on. Oh, my gosh, my shower's better already.
Your Honor, we do not want her to discuss his penis. What have you
Except
said?
on Kimmel.
By the way, I got to tell you something. Yeah, Kimmel said, just go to this episode of my show and you can see what she says about his penis.
The mushroom.
Yeah, but if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, during the whole crap that Clinton went through with Monica Lewinsky and so on and so forth.
Great documentary.
Wasn't there a description of his penis there that was given out legally?
I've watched twice.
In depositions by her. There's a deposition in which she states what his penis looked like and that it was curved.
They look like the Amazon logo,
Yeah, right. The Nike swoosh.
Yeah. Enough said.
No, but so a president, he said, "Oh, it's unheard of." By the way, I'm a little bit out of sync here. Let me see here. Can I change that at all? Is that possible?
Do what you must.
Is that possible? Can I change that by going to another thing here? If I were to go here, say I change it. Oops, there we go. It shouldn't have gone like that, but it went like that. And I think now we're fine. Yeah, okay.
We're fine.
As long as I'm,
Fine. It's a 4-letter word.
Yep. As long as I'm fine, that's all that matters. Let me just do something here, however.
Okay, I shan't stand in your way because
let me
I'm
see.
miles
Well,
away.
we lost your name. We can't do
Oh my
your name.
gosh! Thank
Oh,
goodness for
here
my
it is. Here
drive.
it is. I can put your name up here. Although
Where's
I,
my passport?
huh? Although
Oh no, I was just
I
joking
have
about the
to
name.
change something a little bit. I have to bring it down.
Bring it down.
Yeah, bring the name
Let it
down.
ride.
Yeah. Hold on a
And
second. Wait a minute. That's not what I.
speaking of
Okay.
Let It Ride, which is a
Yeah.
betting term of which I was not apprised, have you seen the movie St. Vincent? It's streaming with Bill Murray as a kind of degenerate gambler.
Oh,
And
that's an old movie.
I know, I just discovered and I thought it was so heartwarming.
Yeah, I think it was. I can't remember the movie exactly, but I remember that I liked it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was good.
Yeah.
St. Vincent,
Okay.
and one of the recommendations.
All right.
But
I think
as
I've got the
you're saying,
picture all right now, where I'm a little more in sync than I was.
I'm glad. Yeah.
Yeah.
NSYNC. Was
What?
Justin Timberlake a member of NSYNC or was it Backstreet Boys? I
don't
never
know.
can remember.
I really don't know what. Anyway,
But you're in sync.
I'm sorry, folks. I'm just playing around with the pictures so I don't get as out of sync as I was. Boy, am I being boring today or what?
No, gosh, no. No, I was just thinking of my confusion involving boy bands because they came a little after my time to be involved in boy bands. And I never can.
I believe me. When I was a kid, we didn't even have stuff that was aimed at kids or teenagers.
Except the Mickey Mouse Club.
No, for kids. Well, no, that was later. I was in my teens when the Mickey Mouse Club came out.
Now, I remember Sesame Street. Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had
When
nothing?
I was a kid, I listened to radio. And we had
Yes.
Let's Pretend was a Saturday morning show. We had some of the kids shows. The Lone Ranger was kind of a kids show.
Yeah.
You know. I'm trying to think of what other shows there were. There were a lot of detective shows, but those were for adults. But I listened to those too. You know.
Yeah, because you had an adult sensibility, I
Yeah.
would guess, from a child.
And there was one show, the one show that had an influence over me more than
Yeah.
any other was a show that was on Sunday. NBC in the dying days of radio decided we're going to resuscitate radio with a big show that we're going to do on Sundays. So they did a show, and appropriately enough, it was called The Big Show. It was an hour and a half, and it starred Tallulah Bankhead. And it was a variety show. And then they would, at the beginning, there were a whole bunch of people who would say, "Hi, I'm Jerry Lewis. Hi, I'm Dean Martin. Hi, I'm Dorothy Lamour. Hi, I'm Bob Hope." You know, and this is The Big Show. And they were all on the show that week.
That's cool. That drawing
And they
power.
had this theme that was done by Meredith Wilson, who later on went on to do the Music Man.
Music Man. Yeah.
And it was this big theme. It was just, I always in my life, I wanted a theme like that, you know. Da 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 da. It's The Big Show. Da 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 da. I mean, I wish I had. If I was prepared for this, I could actually have had the audio for it so you could hear it. But anyway, that influenced more than anything else my view of what radio should be. It should be big, and that's why I did those Christmas shows out of the Fairmont Hotel with a full orchestra and everything else, right?
Yeah.
Because
It
that
was
my
awesome.
big show. You know.
Honey, sorry.
Yes, darling. You're too used to talking to your husband. Do you call him honey?
Yeah. I do. I call him honey. I call him sweetheart. I call him babe.
Yeah.
But babe usually on text.
I call my wife bitch. It's a loving term.
Right. Well, when things are couched with affection, you know, anything can be loving.
Yeah.
But those were great. I mean, those broadcasts, because they made you. I always felt the fervor of the 1940s at those Supper with Schwartzman.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what they were. They were my kind of radio. That was the kind of radio I always dreamed of doing.
It was awesome.
If there was anything I did, folks, if you listen to me in San Francisco, that was the sum total of everything I believed radio could be, it was those shows. The punchline shows in the mornings and so on, the Breakfast with Bennett's, slightly different. Not as big, I like the big with the orchestra, and the whole thing.
Those were the show light. But yeah, with the orchestra and the whole business, you felt like you were kind of transported.
And the station loved doing them too.
Yeah. They were a blast.
It costed a lot of money, but they also got a lot of advertisers to go the freight on it. So, it worked out okay. And I was talking with Ed Cramp. We did some stuff with Ed.
Great general manager.
We talked about the time he almost killed our advertisers.
Well, that was probably not a good date for him.
No, where he brought advertisers up from L.A. to see the show.
Yeah.
The supper with Schwarzman.
That was a gamble.
Yeah, but he put them on a plane flight that was eventually hijacked, and then they crashed into the ground. But
so
it turns out that they had to move everybody to a flight right after it or before it because it wouldn't get them there in time. They had to put them on a flight earlier. So they moved them all to an earlier flight. If they had all been on that flight, we would have killed all our advertisers.
Which in radio is like the kiss of death. But then
guy hijacked the plane and had him drive it into the
My goodness. Well, see, and so now you're associated with a wonderful event in their life. The time that we avoided being,
I
turned
saved
into
their
mud.
lives. Yes,
you did.
Boy,
I'm the reason you're living. I'm the reason you have grandchildren.
He said that was a scary thing for him.
My goodness. To me, it's scarier almost because I don't fear death at all. But then to have just missed a flight that crashed than to be on the flight that crashed.
I've crashed in a plane. You remember that? Who was that news guy? Bill Mann.
Okay.
Mann. You remember Bill Mann?
The guy that
Oakland
wrote
Tribune.
for the
right.
The East Bay paper.
So one day he calls me up and he goes, Alex, I just got my pilot's license. Why don't I meet you at Hobby Airport out in Petaluma? I'll pick you up there we'll get in a plane. And we'll go over to like Tracy or someplace like that. We'll have lunch.
Sounds fun.
Get back in the plane and come back. I went, okay, sure.
The charms of the valley. Yeah.
Right. I've been in private, in small planes before. I really like them. They're a great way to fly. Because you really feel like you're flying. You really feel like a bird in one of those smaller planes.
You're more in touch with the experience.
Only birds don't crash. Okay.
Theoretically, windshield.
So anyway, we go out. We have our lunch. We come back, and as we're landing at Hobby, was it Hobby? I don't know if that was the name.
Hobby is in Dallas.
Anyway, this was the airport, by the way, in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, where he takes off in the airplane and leaves. They use that airport. But anyway, it's famous for a wind shear. That it's a very difficult, if you're not a great pilot, it's a difficult landing. Okay? So but he doesn't know that, and he comes in, blah, 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 and as we're going in, he hits the wind shear. And now what he should do, if you're an experienced pilot, is you just gun it and take it off again and come back and give another attempt and come in and land. But he didn't. He tried to land it, and the wind shear pulled us off. We landed, came off of the runway, onto the strip of grass between the runway, over to another runway, across that runway,
you jumped the meridian,
into the grass, which was in a ditch, and we stopped.
Was your heart just going crazy?
And we're like, the plane's like this, right? And I'm like sitting in the plane going, I should open the door and get out of here. But I don't know if my legs are going to work anymore because most of the engine was now in the cabin of the plane.
Oh,
because the propeller had hit and then pushed it back.
No airbags?
I don't think so. No, just seat belts.
Yeah.
And finally, I see all these people running over me, and I figure, the hell with it. If I can't walk, I can't walk. I push the door open, and I got out and I was fine, and I had some couple of bruises on me, and Bill was okay too, but he had some bruises on him. He got out of his side of the plane, and I said, "Well, thanks for the ride. You know, this is really, really."
How much do I owe you?
Well, now I figure I'm safe for the rest of my life.
Yeah, that's a good card play.
How many times? I'm still out of sync now, folks. I'm sorry. How many times can I have this happen to me? You know, it's impossible.
I would think that's check off.
If I've been in a plane crash, what are the chances of ever being in a plane crash again? So I figured I'd start renting myself out to people who were afraid of flying.
I think that's a great idea. You know, insurance.
And then I thought I'd just get a whole bunch of people who've been in plane crashes, and we'd hire them out to fly with people places next to them so it won't crash.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Because people love testimonials. And you got a great one.
You don't remember that story? It happened while I was,
I know it rings a bell now because I like Bill, you know, and he would be on the show, and I always thought he was a succinct writer.
Yeah.
For the Tribune, wasn't it? The Oakland Tribune?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, cool. You know, that was my little attempt with Face. There was a close to death experience, a near death experience.
Right. So on those New York Times checklist, have you ever, you know, visited Dollywood? Maybe you can't check that one, but you can check. I was in a plane crash. Yeah. Yeah. That's a bucket list you don't want to really hold.
Well, I'd rather not have been in a plane crash, but, you know, that's fine with me, you know.
It's good at parties. You know, you can brag about it.
And have you ever had a near-death experience?
You know, not that I know of. In retrospect, sometimes I think that could have gone woefully wrong. But not really. I kind of think ahead to what could possibly go wrong. I'm an oldest child. So it's just like, what about this is inadvisable? And how will you handle it if it does happen?
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of, you know, but on the other hand, you know, I pretty much flirt with danger if it presents itself.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you got a real coup there, you know, with the plane crash.
Mm-hmm.
That's your trump card. You know, when a party gets dull, hey, did you hear about my plane crash? Do you ever talk to Bill Mann?
No, I haven't in years. No.
Really?
No.
Because I think of him, and sometimes you think, oh, internet. It'll be so easy to find people that, you know, just pass your mind that you appreciated for one reason or another.
He and I had a falling out, and I can't remember what it was over. Something probably imaginary on his part.
Yeah. Well, friendships, you know, are subject to sensitivities.
Well, can you call it a friendship if it didn't last? You know?
See, that's my thing. Continuity.
You and I have a friendship. There's no question in my mind about it. I mean, how many times have we been with each other, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's established. To me, that is established, and I savor that. Our friendship is my safety deposit box.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate it, you know. It's funny, I was talking to Ed Cramp the other day, our general manager.
EK.
Yeah, and the guy's fired me twice, and I still talk to him.
That's because he's a lovely person.
Yes, he is. And I was talking with him, and I was thinking, you know, here I am. I'm talking to Ed Cramp all these years later. That's friendship.
That is friendship, Ben, and that's a capacity to forgive and go on, and to just accept the fact that we're all human.
I have Chuck Farnham on here occasionally.
Yeah.
And this is a guy I didn't talk to for 30 years.
Really?
I didn't, because we were kind of mad at each other.
Yeah, I realize when I'm mad at someone, it's probably me. I had better just get over it.
Well, no, I also, at this age, I come to the point about there's no sense in being mad at somebody forever.
Well, I mean, resentment will eat you up more than anything.
Believe me, I didn't spend my days going, boy, do I resent Chuck Farnham for 30 years.
No, it's more subliminal than that.
But when he finally came back into my life, I was willing to talk to him and get to be friends with him again.
Well, sure.
And so that's a friendship that has lasted.
Exactly. It's just all about moving on, forgiving, and not sweating the small stuff and the fact that we're all human.
And I figure the number one friendship that I have is Marjorie, because in spite of all my crap, she's never left me.
See?
But
She's a keeper.
we do have a saying, "You've never left me." Yeah, but where was I going to go?
Well, that's
at our age. It's come on, what, we're going to get divorced? I remember. Do you remember Hume Cronin and Jessica Tandy? They were
oh yeah. They were like one of the longest, most loyal marriages in Hollywood.
Yes. They were on 60 Minutes once being interviewed. This is like in the twilight of their years. They were both about 70 or 80, something like 75 or 80. And they said, now that we're on 60 Minutes, we have a major announcement to make. And I think it was Mike Wallace was interviewing him and said, well, what's the announcement? She says, Jessica and I have decided to get divorced.
What did Wallace say?
He didn't. He was gobsmacked. He didn't know what to say, and he went, "What? Really? And they went, "No."
Come on. Yeah.
I mean, at this age, why would you get divorced?
I don't know. And also, I didn't even get married until I was in my 60s, and I thought, okay, I can handle myself to be accepting and to be kind, compassionate, forgiving, and I can do it. But when you get into marriage, you realize that you're not as equipped as you thought, or I realized I was not as equipped as I thought, and it means so much more than what I thought.
Well, marriage is the toughest thing you can enter into.
I agree.
It's also the easiest thing to enter into because you only have to remember one principal rule. Ready?
Ready?
Be ready to forgive at all times.
That is great advice.
The best survival of a marriage is based on forgiveness.
That is it. That
because
really is it.
The person you're living with, I'm sorry, is going to do enough to piss you off. And
every day.
You've got to be able to forgive all that. And this includes even if he goes out and cheats on you, you got to learn how to forgive that.
Yeah, I mean, even physical infidelity at this stage, what would it mean? It wouldn't mean a lot. It would mean.
I mean, Marjorie doesn't have to worry about it because with all the prostate stuff they did on me, it doesn't really respond well.
Well, and
it's a nice way of putting it nicely. Yeah.
Well, and one would think, I mean, I know my mind, and to think that I would physically cheat is so, I mean, it's a myth.
There's no way I'm going to cheat now, but I can't, I haven't got the equipment to do it with, so,
Well, and I do, I guess, but, I wouldn't even think of it. And the fact that in my spouse, that would ever be a concern is hilarious to me. Mm-hmm. But if it's not hilarious to them, you have to be compassionate and hear them out.
Mm-hmm. Right. So we got a couple of minutes left here. You sound like everything's gone okay with your marriage. I mean, I'm sure it's not perfect. None of them are.
It's a good marriage. He's a good spouse. He's thoughtful. He's a little hyper, which I'm like a little OCD. I'm not used to that happening, mm-hmm. But I mean, I dealt with it myself in high school and junior high, but I got counseling, and that because I'm a real absorber. So if someone is stressed, if someone is angry, if someone is, freaked out, I will, like we're in Buenos Aires, and my husband is the ultimate planner. Everything goes right when we're on a trip, and everything is confirmed.
Oh, good. I need somebody like that, too.
I know. I love that about it. But we get off the plane, and there was one aspect. I mean, from the plane to the hotel, a lot of things can go wrong, and he's thought about them all. And then there was
again, I'm going back to what's his name? We did swimming to Cambodia.
Spalding Gray.
Spalding Gray, who on my show, I told him I was like that. I worried about He says, he says, I'm the same way. He says, you know why? And I said, why? He said, we're control freaks.
Yeah.
We can't, we think of every possibility of what could go wrong. So when it does, we're not surprised. We have control over it.
But the things that throw you are things that you didn't think of.
Yeah, but it has a negative side because before I'd ever go on a trip, I would always get depressed the day before.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just stressed, depressed, or just sad?
Depressed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because you're afraid.
Thinking of all the things that could go wrong. Yeah.
Because were you concerned that it would reflect on your character?
No, I was afraid that something would have power over me because I didn't see it coming.
I know, Ben, and that's the big myth.
Yeah.
That we've thought of everything that can hit.
Every possible thing that could go wrong. That's why every time I come down with something and I go to a doctor, the first question I ask him is this going to kill me?
I know.
Really? Really?
I know you do.
And I've had more than one doctor look at me and go, no.
No.
Like, you moron, no. When I had the prostate thing, I asked the doctor, I said, is this what's going to kill me? And they went, no.
And you know what kills you? Life.
It's like my father said, he says, I hope when I die, I get hit by a Mack truck. Just really fast. Boom.
Mack can be Adele.
Hey, we've run out of time. Excuse me, folks, if the picture every now and then has kind of changed and flipped and flopped because I was trying to get it so that we were somehow in sync here because I don't know what it is. I'm getting I'm going to get new equipment soon of a even more powerful machine that might stop this from going out of sync.
The sinky out of syncy.
Yeah, the sinky thing. Yeah. Anyway, hey, listen, you know how much I love you, and I want you to know that, and how much I appreciate the fact that you talk with us every week.
It's food. It's vitamin.
Do you look forward to this?
Oh, completely, Ben.
Really?
Completely.
Okay,
Are
good.
you kidding?
I just wanted to know it wasn't annoying for you.
No, it keeps me waking up.
We've run over, but to hell with it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Lori Thompson. Yay!
Later, baby.
Now in its 9th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Well, okay. All righty. There is Lori Thompson. I noticed I don't think I had my light on there. Did I? I was looking rather pale. Anyway, how are you, everybody? It's Wednesday, first day of our work week, which goes until Friday. But anyway, I don't have much to talk about, but I do know some people who probably have something to talk about, and we will bring them in now. Here they come, ladies and gentlemen. It is our Zoom panel. Charlie Wallace is here, and Brian Neary is here, and you could use a little more light in there, Brian. Yeah, and Josh Wheeler. Hello, Josh. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. And here comes Scott Boddicker, and here comes Jeff Stein. Okay, so why is it so dark where you are, Brian? Huh?
I told you I can't use my work laptop right now because they sort of canceled Zoom because everybody's going to Teams. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I got to figure something out.
Yeah.
How's this? Is that better?
Oh, geez.
I look white, really white.
Yeah.
So you guys are talking about being faithful. It's like Chris Rock. Chris Rock says the man is only as faithful as his options. So when you get older, you don't have any more options.
It's a very. Who said that?
Chris Rock.
He's right. He's right.
He's talking about Clinton.
Only as faithful as his options. Okay, I'll go along with that. Hello, Josh. How are you? Bye. We got you on a Monday.
Today's Monday?
Excuse me, Wednesday.
Wednesday.
God.
Dang.
Now you really got him screwed up.
Yeah, we had quite a Monday show this week. We had
18 people, right?
we had 18 people. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I can imagine.
Mandy wasn't even there. Oh, sorry.
What'd you say?
I said I
Mandy
can
wasn't
imagine
even
like
there. We could have had 19.
Yeah.
Andy.
two ways to lose track of what day it is probably I assume to probably be retired, because you don't care, or to work 12-hour nights
Yeah.
and not on a set schedule, one that rotates around. You never have any idea what day it is. You only know if you work that day or if you don't.
Yeah, I've gotten to the point where I just, I'm tired all the time, and I think it's because I don't have a job.
I mean, it's
I
possible.
have this, but this isn't a job.
This is the best job you ever had.
Yeah.
Well, in some ways, but it's not the same as having a job.
Yeah.
This is kind of voluntary, and it'd be nice if we had a job, and something I had to go to every day,
Yeah.
and quite frankly, that I had to take a car down to go to the station to do it, But anyway, at 84, I don't think anybody's going to be hiring me for much of anything. Okay, so
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
you never
Walmart.
know. Well, I don't know. I have a friend who does a show nationally, and he asked me to do his show. I think it was maybe last Saturday or something like it, last Sunday, and it's a 3-hour show. And initially I said, okay, I'll do it, and then I thought about it. I went, it exhausts me to do an hour now, to do 3 hours, and all I have are callers. I don't have somebody. I told him, look, I just don't think I can do it anymore. It's just I'm not ready to put in that kind of commitment, and I want to do the best possible show I can. I don't want to go on and have people say, oh, I heard Alex Bennett last night on so and so's show. Boy, has he started to suck.
Yeah, the first hour was medical, the second hour was the travel, and the third hour you were taking calls.
What do you mean? I don't get you.
But is there supposed to be a producer with you?
I don't know. I think I have some kind of a producer. Yeah.
Not me.
Yeah. There
Screen calls
was
and
somebody
stuff, right?
who was a producer. Yeah.
By the way, some guy was just asking on the chat if this is Alex Bennett from Sirius, and then he said, "I thought he was dead."
You're right. Well, can I say? Oh,
Mark, he's
It
not
fucking
dead.
ain't.
wait a minute. No, a lot of people thought he was dead, but he ain't. That's John Redshaw. He's
Yeah,
writing all
no,
the time.
yeah, but the guy above him, the Mark.
Oh, I see. Is this the Alex Bennett that used to be on Sirius Radio on the Progressive Channel? And John Redshaw goes, yes. And Mark writes back, I thought he was dead.
I know you'd like
yet.
that. So.
And no, Mark, I'm not dead. But if more people do what you just did, I probably will become so.
Alex Bennett is still alive.
Alex Bennett
Yes,
is still
exactly.
alive. Yeah. No, I'm not dead yet. But it's, who knows, But anyway, so, but I'm trying to wake up tonight. I'm drinking some coffee and, I don't sound tired, do I?
Nope.
No?
Not at all.
Let me see here. So, hello, Scott. Gosh, he hasn't called the show in a long time.
Well, you told me to call in
Yeah,
on Monday, so I
love
did.
having you here.
I'm awake. Once.
Yes.
Not outside a bar at night.
Yeah.
Are you still drinking a lot?
No, quit drinking.
You quit drinking.
Oh my
Bravo
God.
for you. Bravo for you.
God, you're going to be so boring now.
That's my life.
Well, the thing is that I've never been a drinker. As strange as it may seem.
A lot of drugs, but no drinking.
You're absolutely correct, my friend. A lot of drugs, but no drinking.
Hi, I'm Nicole Hockley from Sandy Hook Prom.
What?
What?
Nothing. That was me. I was going to your YouTube, and she started talking before I could hit the mute button.
Oh,
I wanted to read the chats.
Oh, you want to read the chat?
Yeah, I wanted to see if you're still alive.
Yeah. Well, you see, Mark from Adirondack Mountains, upstate New York. Yeah, well, good man. Well, that explains why you think I'm dead. You know, the world does not get to the Adirondacks. So, yeah. So anyway, Josh, to what do we owe this privilege of you being here tonight? Is it that you're not working tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm off tonight and I'm off tomorrow night.
Oh, really? Oh, cool.
2 weeks ago, he was on Wednesday and Thursday, I think.
What'd you say?
2 weeks ago, he was on Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah, I'd be like that every other week.
Yeah.
So I can't call Friday because I work the weekend. Then I got a few days off where you're not on the air, and then next week, but I'll be able to call Friday night next week.
Oh, okay. Well,
And hopefully this week we should be able to do something Saturday.
yeah. Oh, good. Okay.
Those people whose names we won't name because I don't want to offend them, let us down this Saturday. They know who they are. Kevin and Patrick.
Kevin and Patrick.
I think I know who one is.
Well, you see, I'm always available because I have no life.
Well, that's me too, you know. So.
But I'm only good for about an hour. Then I start getting tired, you know. No, we get together on the weekends and we get together, the four of us, and we talk about you guys and how terrible you are. So.
Oh, God, I thought you were going to tell us like you got together in a hot tub.
That too.
Yeah.
That too. There you go.
Yeah. It's
well, there's Kevin. So all the shit that I just said about him, that was wrong.
See, what we've done is we got this little thing where we all sit and we just talk with each other. That's it, you know. And
What are we doing?
I think you kind of started it, Josh, and then I just joined it, about a year ago or something like that?
It's probably been longer than that. I used to talk to Patrick a lot, and then Kevin started talking with us.
It was kind of a little show you created for yourself.
Yeah, sure.
But it wasn't broadcast anywhere. It wasn't
pretty stupid, so I wouldn't call it that.
It wasn't put out anywhere. But, you know, one time I mentioned, hey, you know, all I got to do is flick a little button here on Zoom, and I can have us all on, for instance, Facebook Live. And we decided no, because we just want to have the freedom to really talk about anything we want to talk about.
Occasionally I say things on there that would get me fired from my job, probably.
Yeah. So we don't broadcast this thing. It's not that it's dirty or anything. It's just politically, it's positions some people will not take. Okay, and we take them. Kevin's one of them, and the other one's Patrick, and that's it. It's four people.
What? You don't invite Phil Meyer?
Are you crazy?
No.
I haven't heard from
Sarcastic,
Phil.
yes. Crazy.
I just realized today I haven't heard from Phil in a long time.
I was going to ask, is Phil still alive?
Well, wait a minute. Let's ask Mark from
Call
the
back to Alex
Adirondacks, who
being
might
dead,
think
so.
he's dead.
Yeah.
You could get a little moped and go around and deliver food like Kevin does. Make pretty good money. You know, drive around New York City.
Yeah.
Kevin does that. He makes pretty good money.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Do you make good money? Do you make good money doing that? What is it? What's the?
I wouldn't call it good.
no.
Who is it you do it for?
DoorDash.
DoorDash.
It's fun little side money. That's all it is.
Well, you make about $50 a night.
It's different all nights. I made $1,000 last week.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I mean, I made almost $500 one week.
God, with
$600.
money
No,
I've got-
$900 one week. You know, it's good and it's bad sometimes.
Well, how did it become $1,000 week?
How? I worked my ass off.
Oh, really? I mean, did you get any extraordinary tips or anything like that?
Yeah. I got one delivery. It was like a $56 tip.
Really?
You're
How much
welcome.
food did they order?
They ordered about $40 worth of stuff, and I had to take it out to the back hills.
And
Some company ordered food for their for their employees, and I brought it out to him, and he paid well.
But you said it was only $40?
Yeah, it was about $40 worth of food and $56 tip.
Wow.
Yeah, he was very nice. I try to catch him on Fridays, just before noon.
Yeah, just before noon. Wow.
And so does everybody else.
I mean, that's places I work, now does that. My last place does that a lot. I mean, they call and order 15 pizzas or whatever. And I mean, for the delivery guy, you just make 2 trips in and out of the building, carry these pizzas out, take them over. But I mean, that's $400 worth of food or whatever. And all these corporate cards, you can leave 20%. The company won't say anything. So they give the driver, fucking $80 or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, so.
Yeah, our
too
factory in Lodi, there's a little deli on the same block actually that we just leveled two training facilities, and we built this huge building, and now we have like 1,200 employees there. Yeah. And there's a little deli that just sold just as we were building, and the guy who owns it now is like, he's got it made because we keep getting stuff from him, so they keep catering all of our meetings. Yeah. And I should have bought it.
I used to, when I ordered from, for my employees, I only had 10 employees, but I bought everybody food, and I was generous with the driver or whoever brought it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, right in the guidelines of the cards I always had, I mean, it said,
yeah,
you could leave, it was up
22%.
It was up your discretion. Really, you could leave whatever you want, as long as the upper management approves it. But it said, 20% is the recommended, and it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Well, it said you go get $100 worth of pizza or have it delivered and give the driver a $20 tip. No one says a word.
Yeah, 20 to 25% is what they always suggested.
Right.
How much are they saying now?
25% was when I was working 6 years ago, 8 years ago, 9 years ago now.
20% was a normal tip.
Yeah.
For a waiter or waitress, right?
Yeah, but this guy's picking it up. He's bringing it to you.
The person who delivers, I give the same kind of tip I would give a waiter or a waitress.
Yeah, so do I.
Absolutely.
But some of the places I've been in, they got to carry 2 or 3 trips in, and it's kind of a pain in the ass. I got to go to the guard shack and call in and wait for him to call. So, it's not really hard. It's just a bit of a hassle. And, when it's all done, I've seen him give the driver $100. No problem.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that bad,
Well, we use Instacart, and when they deliver, when I get it from Costco, I don't give them 20%. I give them always $20. Yeah. Because that's what a cab would cost me to go down there, and then a cab would cost me to come back. So I figure that's the tip I give to them.
Fair.
Plus, I assume they make a certain amount of money off each delivery too.
Yeah,
from
they do.
From Instacart. I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah.
Well, you would see that on your bill.
On the bill.
What they pay them?
Yeah, you would see what you get charged, and then they get a portion of that somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
There's a percentage. I don't know how they work. It's by the mile. I mean, we see what they pay us, which
There's
that's what you
charge.
Just the delivery charge, and it's just a portion of what they're charging the customer.
I don't know how much it goes.
And we get the tip, and we don't even see the tip until it's over with.
Right.
That's why I always give.
Sometimes I'll go in and shop for 10 items at Lucky's, and then come out, deliver it, and it'll say, you're going to get paid $10 for this order plus a tip.
Right.
That's all you know. And I'll go in and shop for 10 items, then I'll take it across town, deliver it, and then finish off the order, and it'll say no tip. And I get $10 for doing all that.
No
tip. There's that happens quite often.
Wow. So
you can get screwed too.
DoorDash is kind of like Instacart, right? In other words,
it's the same thing, yeah.
Yeah.
It's mostly food orders, but they do
So next
They
time
do shopping orders as well.
next time they order, Kevin, you take their 10 items and make it 11, a pile of dog poo.
I started my own little list.
Oh, okay, there you go.
It's called the shit list.
We used to get
Remember this one? No, I don't go there no more.
the same drivers a lot, you know. And I mean, once they've been there once or twice, and every time they come in there, you give them $100 tip. They're gonna take care of your shit, not mess it up.
Yep.
Right. You know, I mean, they get in there and set it on the table and make sure everything's good. And they know it's like, yeah, I'll take that. You know, every time I go to SW or AXO or whatever, they give me $100. You know, so.
Yep. I remember those
$100
guys.
Tip in Ohio is like $200 or $300 here.
I don't know.
I mean, I appreciate everything, but you know, just some things that just, you know, you get irritated sometimes. But that's the way it is. That's part of the job.
Like the area that I live in, I've noticed some of the pizza places and stuff, like they don't even hire their own delivery drivers anymore. They just use them to come bring it. They said
that's what Little Caesars does.
Right, like they can never keep drivers, and they never come to work, or they quit, you know, unexpectedly, and they said to hell with it. We'll just hire a couple people to work in the kitchen making the pizzas and whatnot in our delivery window, and every time someone calls in for a delivery, I think they just put it on the computer they got with DoorDash or whatever, and that's who brings it to you.
Yep.
So they're just
That's
like
what Caesars
they're just
does,
like
'cause
using that as a service to sublet. Like,
they don't have to pay insurance on
independent
cars and
contractors
everything
or whatever. I mean, they're just using them almost like any other logistics service. Here's a bid board with all the open jobs we got right now. If you want to take one, take it. If you don't, you know, go home and watch Alex Bennett on YouTube.
I mean, I just went out for 3 hours? 3 hours because I had to take my wife to get her eye surgery today. So I went out for 3 hours and I pulled in $71, $72. Wasn't bad.
While she was having her surgery?
No, I went up to San Jose and dropped her off and had surgery and then came back and I decided to go to work when she got home. It was right at dinner time.
I mean, I don't think it's like a permanent income, but for people who want to make extra money, or people like semi-retired or retired and just want to have a little money trickling in, it's probably perfect. You know,
there are some guys out here in town that I know that are doing it for permanent income. They go on at 6:30 in the morning. They stay on. They're still out there right now, but they're working 10, 12 hours a day.
Or work like that, you know.
That's crazy.
But it's probably because I mean it's no benefits and you know you're like responsible to take your own taxes out. They're probably just going to 1099 you and all that kind of stuff. So it's just perfect for extra money if you're smart.
But you also can write off everything.
Taxes, it's good.
It's your own business too. You can write off everything. I write off the app that I use for my mileage. I write off my mileage, my fuel, all that stuff. You write all that off. I mean, I was talking to a guy today. He says I even write off the clothes that I wear because I got to be comfortable when I do this. And I write off my sneakers. I write off. He writes off everything. And I go, okay.
I mean, like, and if you're out and about and you bang a porn star and she blackmails you and you have to pay her money not to tell your wife, you can fucking write that off.
You can write off the lawyer too. Lawyer is right there. Just write it off. It's all covered.
I'll tell you, when I was doing, we would do shows, you know, live concerts with comedy concerts, and I would do them. And every time I do them, I'd go out and buy some clothes to wear on stage. Yeah. And we could immediately take that off my taxes, the cost of the clothes. And then I could continue to wear them privately, and still it was a tax deduction. Here's the reason why. My lawyer told me, not my lawyer, my accountant told me, it's an old story, and I can't remember who got the deal, made the case with the government, and it became law. And that was that if you go on stage and you're wearing clothes you use just for that performance, you can never really truthfully wear those again because you're going to sweat in them from the lights on stage and so on and so forth. So you can continue to wear those clothes, but they can be taken off as a deduction. So for a long time I had that as a deduction.
When you're in the union, they got all that stuff too. I mean, it's all in there that you can write all that stuff down too.
Yeah. But so anyway, so it sounds like a good little deal you got there. You know,
Yeah, and you can work anytime you want.
Yeah.
I mean, I just decided I work.
You don't
Do
deliver
you
outside
find
your
that it
city,
supplies
do
you with
Kevin?
enough money that it's worth it, or are you just doing it because what else am I going to do with my time?
Both.
Do you deliver outside your city? I know what city you live in. I don't.
Yeah,
know.
I keep in town, but I like to go to Monterey and go down there and drive around Pebble Beach a little bit, and then sometimes I go over to Santa Cruz when it's a nice day and look at the beach. And I've gone up to San Jose, but I don't like going up there.
Yes.
That's quite a
Well,
drive
like
to
the-
deliver something.
You'd like to
Both.
think that people around there would be able to provide good tips, but you know, I mean,
Monterey is good for tips. Yeah,
who knows?
Does DoorDash get a lot of business? I mean,
they do. Yeah, you get a lot of hotel business up down in Monterey. I was going to a lot of hotels down there.
oh really?
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
okay.
Yeah, they have the dance conventions and dance competitions, and that's all people do is just order.
Yeah.
Well, Uber also delivers food now.
What's that?
Uber also delivers food.
Uber
Yeah, I use the Uber app too, but I did both of them the other day, and I got 3 Uber orders, and compared to my 13 DoorDash orders,
Yeah, I don't think it's as popular. At least not yet.
it's not as popular in certain areas. It's very popular, like up
Well,
in San
also,
Jose.
I
it's so
talked
popular.
to a lot of these people, a lot of these car drivers, who they both take Uber and Lyft.
Yeah.
And I said, which one is the better of the two? And they said Lyft. Lyft treats their people better.
Yeah, I mean, I think eventually they're all going to figure it out, and they're going to merge into each other. Probably, you know, Uber will buy up Lyft, or one will buy the other, and that kind of thing. Eventually, we were talking about that today. I think DoorDash will probably buy, or Uber Eats will buy DoorDash, or something like that, and they'll all kind of merge together and become one. You know, because there's so many of them. You got Grubhub, you got Uber Eats, you got DoorDash, you got all these other ones, and they're eventually all going to kind of, I think, buy each other up like everything else.
Well, I mean, Lyft. I'm just thinking about Lyft and Uber, and I think the government would not let them merge because that would it doesn't sound right. Okay.
Why is that different than 2 taxi companies merging?
Because Uber's
Because
bigger and Lyft is bigger than a little cab company somewhere.
And there's a lot of cab companies where,
But they're all
pretty much it's
owner-operators.
Lyft, yeah, it's only Lyft and Uber.
I don't remember. Did Sirius and XM have any trouble when they did that deal? I thought they had.
They did, yeah.
They had to make some concessions.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember what they were now, but I'm an
Yeah,
old
I'm
man
trying to
and I
remember
forget
too.
stuff, you know. But
Because I mean, like they do make them do that stuff. I mean, when my company bought Valspar 7 or 8 years ago, they were forced to divest of 5 or 6 other different companies
Right.
that they owned that sold brand names that you would know, but you never knew that that's who they were owned. And they had like some floor coverings and things like that, and convinced the government that that got them out of the market share enough to. Because when the acquisition of Valspar went through, I mean that basically gave them almost full control of the consumer market. I mean, it's in all the stores, and then they had basically the full allotment that's in Lowe's, and they sell most of the stuff that you see at Menards under brand names that you don't know that they own. So, really Home Depot with Bear is the only consumer competition basically in the U.S. I mean, there's some other really small ones like Benjamin Moore and some others, but they're not. I mean, they're not large and worldwide like that. So, I mean, they do make people divest or whatever of certain. I don't really know how they figure it out or formulate it, but it does happen. I mean, it is real.
Yep.
well, Sirius XM, when they merged, I believe they had to agree that they would not raise their prices to the consumers for something like 5 or 6 years, something like that.
Yeah, it might have been.
You know, and I don't know. Huh?
I don't know how it worked for them, but I mean, obviously looking back on it now, like 20 years or whatever of paying them, I wish I'd have just taken their lifetime deal for like $500, like 20 years ago. You know, I mean, I wonder how many people did that and are actually getting it. You know, I don't know. I'd love to know that though. Like how many people actually, when they had, like, you know, at one time they had that deal, like, so they had some kind of lifetime deal. It was like $500. Like you're supposed to get Sirius for life, but I don't really know.
They did have a deal like that, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't do it anymore, I think, that I know of. But I mean, when they were, I don't know when they debuted. This is maybe like 04, 05. So probably, you know, 20 years ago. And like I said, they had a deal. Now, I'm sure later on they would have been like, nope, that's for one thing and only one radio and whatever. And they would have, but I mean, there's still ways that it would have been. I've never canceled the service, so that one that I paid, I could have just transferred from car to car to car. I probably never would be paying, you know, the monthly payments like I've had to do.
Well, if you had a subscription, you had a subscription.
Right.
And
no matter what platform you used it on or whatever.
And if you get a new car and you have a new radio in that car, all you have to do is under your account, just give them the new VIN number. What's the number that they have? That's just some kind of a number.
The IMEI
yeah,
number.
I think you get a number off the radio now, like a DIN number or something like that. And you can give them that. And I think that's actually, I think you can even do it yourself now on the internet.
Yeah, you can.
And type it in, because you used to not be able to. And like I told you before, you used to call them and they were very confused. It's like,
I want to tell you how cheap these guys were, though. When they fired me and Albert, okay, I had a Sirius XM membership, whatever, just because I worked for them.
Right.
And mine kept going for quite a while, man. It went for about a year, something like that. But with Albert, he turned in his keys and his identification card. He got in the elevator, and by the minute he hit the first floor,
oh shit,
they had canceled his service.
That's bullshit.
You know, they couldn't say, he worked for us for a long time. He was a loyal employee. What's it going to cost us to keep him being able to get it? I got it for about a year, but I never listened to it because I don't want to listen to somebody who fired me.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah. But how much does it cost now for Sirius XM?
Well, I have
a bill right here.
Yeah, I have.
Really?
I have 2 vehicles with the full package, pretty much everything you can get, and the internet. I pay like $54 or something.
A year or
a month?
A month?
Yeah, something like that.
How about you, Kevin?
I'll tell you right now, I got 2 vehicles with the full package.
Yeah.
$276 plus $349, and I pay by the year, so it's like $625 for 2 vehicles.
$625 a year?
Yep. And you divide that by 12.
Do you find the service worth it for that?
$52 a month, yeah.
That's what I pay a month. Yeah, 2 vehicles and the internet, yeah.
Yeah,
I find it worth it. I don't even listen to regular radio. I mean,
yeah, I don't either.
Ever. I mean,
I got one show that I listen to on regular radio.
Yeah, the only exception is some local
sports.
Yeah, but my question is the same question I have with cable. Okay? How many of the stations, and I don't know, they have what? How many channels?
A lot.
Couple of hundred channels.
Yeah.
How many of those do you listen to?
Well, I agree with that, yeah.
I probably listen to at least
2.
Probably at least 40.
You listen to 40?
That's a lot.
Yeah, because I listen to a lot of hockey, a lot of baseball, a little basketball. I listen to a lot of sports.
Wow.
And then I listen to CNN and all the news stuff. And
because
then I
what they were supposed to, one of the deals,
at least 10 or 20 music stations.
One of the deals they were supposed to do under that deal with the government was not raise their prices for a certain amount of time, and they were supposed to give you a la carte service. In other words,
Where they can really screw you.
Let's say all I wanted, because I have bad taste, is Howard Stern. I don't want to listen to anything else. You could just buy Howard Stern.
Mhm.
But they never initiated that a la carte service.
I don't
Well,
know.
the problem is that
I think they offer that, but the problem is just like DirecTV or anybody else, they technically offer it to you, but they make it in a way that you would never really be able to do it. Like, well, I just want DirecTV. I just want to watch my local channels and my local sports team. Well, you can't have the sports package unless you have at least the medium pack. You know what I
if
mean?
you
Like,
pull Howard Stern, you're going to pull 10
Right.
other channels.
okay, well then forget that. I just want this. Well, you can't. I mean, they just make
Yeah, exactly.
like, no
It
matter
pisses me
what
off.
you do, they've got a circle they can talk in, and you're fucking not getting out of it. Like,
That's the way cable TV works.
right?
Yeah.
I pay $100 a month to no premium channels through Comcast, and out of that, I pay $16 a month. Can't stop it if I want the cable, and it pays for sports, and I don't watch any sports on TV.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
That
they,
kind of deal.
It's part of the deal. You want our cable, you got to pay for it.
Curious kind of has it where you could get it for $9 a month, but then you really can't listen to shit. You know what I mean? So, it's like, well, all I really care about is the NFL Network and the MLB Network. Well, if you have this package, it comes with the NFL Network, but not the MLB Network.
And you got to take the sewing channel along with that.
Right. You know what I mean? So it's just like they figured out exactly what people wanted. Because obviously they must have some way of knowing what people listen to. I assume,
Can I
what's
tell
popular
you?
and what's
I
not.
tell you that outside of the stuff that people pick up using the internet,
Yeah.
they don't know what people are
They have
listening
no
to.
clue.
They never
Okay.
did.
But I mean, yeah, that's true. But I'm sure they have at least some idea though of what is popular. I mean, I don't know
Just
that they
by
would pay Howard
subscription.
Stern what they pay him if they didn't think people were listening to it, for example. I think they at least have to strongly believe that the NFL channel that they have is popular, or they would get rid of it because, I mean, they literally pay all these guys to talk football 365 days a year, so, I mean, but that's what they do. They like divvy it up in ways that when you look at it, you're always like, oh man, that's great package. That would be cheap. That's not bad. And then there's always like that one channel where you're like, God damn it, it's not on there.
Hey, Alex,
You know?
how do they track you on the internet?
What do you mean here?
Yeah, you said they know the people that
Here.
are on the internet what they watch, listen to.
Well,
Well,
should know this.
because the internet, you actually can tell who's using up bandwidth.
Yeah.
Whereas with the satellite delivery, there's no way to figure out how many people are listening by satellite, because
But they don't know
that
exactly what
that
you're
is one
listening
stream coming down from a satellite. Hello there, Adrian, and how are you this fine day? Then she hides.
She's got a good dad.
Yeah,
Got to figure out my light thing.
yeah. You got to figure out your lighting.
Yes.
You could
If you
probably
turn the
in
ceiling
your
off, maybe the light will come back on.
in your wait a minute. I think you can actually go into your what do you call it? Your
Settings.
settings for Zoom, and if you go up to video, I believe, is there brightness? No, there isn't brightness. No brightness. It
This
does
should
say
be
just for low
webcam
light,
should
though.
be brightness.
But I think also you probably have in your camera on your what
Oh my
happened there?
god, that was Tony's effect. Sorry.
Oh, my mom's wallpaper.
That didn't work. Your mom's pulled wallpaper.
I still got swatches I gotta send you.
That's all that's left of your mom's wallpaper.
I still got a little swatch here. I think somewhere in my comic books.
Really. But no. Anyways, I was saying with the signal that's coming off a satellite and people pick it up, they really don't know how many people are picking up that signal. Whereas with the internet, you can tell how many people are listening. Right now, I know that this is embarrassing, but right now on our YouTube feed, 31 people are watching the live feed. Yeah, so,
Those are the ones that don't have an active VPN running.
I don't know that if VPN changes that. All VPN is going to do is prevent me from knowing who they are.
Right.
Okay, but the VPN, I think, still would not, prevent it. But
How many people did you have on Monday?
I don't know. What happens is that once we run the show, then people keep watching it, and it builds up and builds up and builds up. Just because I say there are 32 people watching live right now, the fact is people are going to look at that over the next 2 weeks or something like that. It'd be a great deal more than that, of course. And Monday we had less listeners because we had 18 people on with us. But that was a lot of people, but I don't know. The Monday show gets some pretty good numbers, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot of the people on the Monday show say nothing during the whole show.
That's right.
Well, that's all right.
And people like that.
Sometimes we wish that was like on this show too.
Ooh.
What did you say?
But going back to Sirius, I have Sirius, but the thing is, it's not how many channels I listen to. It's though that I'm in my car so much, so there's so much listening hours in drives.
Yeah, it's worth it. I mean, same way.
I don't know if you've ever run into the problem, but I remember once when I had a car with a satellite radio in it. I was listening to Sirius XM because I was working for them at the time, and I went up to upstate California, and I went through the redwoods. You can't pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
Because
when you're in the trees,
it's hiding the satellite signal, the trees.
Mm-hmm.
So there are
under
limitations.
The overpass.
What?
Under the overpass, there's a there's like a stoplight going onto the freeway, and when I'm under that, I can't get anything. Yeah.
What happened was in New York, because of all the buildings, you couldn't pick up the satellites. So you know what they did?
They had lights on the buildings.
Terrestrial.
No. What did you say?
They added probably broadcast stations on the ground, terrestrial type station.
They put broadcast signals on the ground. Exactly.
Yeah, right. They did that in Atlanta too. I noticed.
Yeah,
I was going through there once.
But New York would be impossible because you start driving through the canyons of New York and you don't have a straight shot up to a satellite.
Right.
So, but where you are in California, it's terrific. It's fine.
Yeah, I might have to get this. I've never listened to this Sirius.
Oh, really? You can stream it if you want, Alan, to get the app.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I like too. I have the app, so if I'm taking a shower or doing something, I can listen.
Well, there's no way of cheating Sirius XM and getting their programming without going through them.
Yeah, you have to have the subscription to get the app, correct? You can't get rid of the subscription and have the app alone.
You can get just
I think you might be able to.
I think you
can
get
just the internet. I know it used to be that way, but I don't know if you can do it now.
You can just get the app.
Yeah, they sell just an internet only. Which is the
okay, because they used to not do that.
It's not that much, and I think you can get basically get everything with it.
Because the app actually has more channels.
By the way,
in that case, even if you're under trees, you should be able to get it.
Yeah, you'd be able to get it fine, Alex. Yeah, just put your Wi-Fi and you can Bluetooth it to a stereo if you want.
Yeah, that's what I do.
I'm going to have to try that this week.
Yeah, but anyway, it's what was getting to me is that we have this whole problem with these television systems like Hulu and so on.
Mhm.
They're all raising their prices because they're all going broke. Now, can you imagine? Disney has like maybe 110,000 subscribers, and they're
I was
going
just watching
broke.
too. Yeah, I was watching
Well,
the X-Men.
110 million, excuse
Yeah,
me.
million, right?
110 million, and
How
they're
are they
going
going
broke.
Raise it $1.
Huh?
Just raise it $1.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, Max is raising theirs, and they just fired a bunch of people too.
Yeah.
And I'm not about ready to subscribe to anybody who's firing their people to make the bottom line work.
I mean,
Helps the stock price.
Netflix is going to show a live doubleheader NFL games on Christmas Day this year that they paid the NFL,
Yeah.
I'm sure, tens of millions of dollars for the rights to for a 3-year contract. So probably $100 million. But so that, I mean, that's, there's,
Wow.
I think they said they would
raise theirs a few times, I think, in the last couple
Well,
of
you know
years.
what's happening with Netflix? The Tom Brady roast did so well. They're going to do a lot of roasts. And I don't know if you saw the Tom Brady roast, but it
didn't see
was
the whole thing.
terrible.
I wish they put the old roasts on. Remember the Dean Martin roast? They should just re-show those.
Well, those weren't decent roasts.
You can watch those on
weren't good
YouTube,
roasts.
Tony.
Those were like
how
because you
racist
couldn't do,
those
you
were.
couldn't do a roast on television. I'm sorry. It has to be somewhere where language is not inhibited.
Here's
I'd expect
here's the
some of the
cute,
old stars,
here's
though.
the cute thing about the Dean Martin roasts. Half the time, the people that were in the roast weren't even in the same room.
Oh.
They were interviewing them in other rooms and stuff, and then adding it all together and making it look like they were all in the same room.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes.
But they said they would take a person to watch all the football games. It'll cost them $850, I think. To get all the different
Chump
streaming
change for
services.
somebody like you.
Oh, so Netflix is going to charge
Couple
extra.
of
Netflix, it's who else? Amazon Prime.
Amazon.
Right? They're doing
They're not-
Thursdays.
But
they're not going to charge any extra for it. It's part of your
Right, but-
subscription, but you know, there is a sports finance guy that basically sat down and looked at where all the games are at and everything. If you got YouTube TV with the Sunday ticket and then you subscribe to all the different apps that carry NFL games exclusive here and there, you know, at the end of the year, it was just over, and you paid for all of those for 12 months. At the end of the year, you'd spend about $1,100
Oh my god.
a year to be able to have access to watch every single NFL game that was played without missing any of them. You know, every game. So the exclusive games, the local broadcast, what you know, through your YouTube TV, whatever. So, but I already have all those anyway because they have all that shit. Everyone has shit all spread out. I mean, that's why they all do it. MLB's starting to do the same thing. You know, they just moved their Sunday games to Roku channel now, but it used to be on Peacock and all this other stuff. I mean, they're giving all these people like one game or two games a year.
You know, it's going to get to the
and then
point.
people will pay for it.
It's going to get to the point where there'll be no sports events on network television.
Possible.
Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, that's possible because, you know, like ESPN basically, Disney and all them, I mean, they pay Major League Baseball. They paid Major League Baseball $500 million for X number of years. I can't remember how long it was to have the rights to Sunday Night Baseball game, which is one game a week, the All-Star Game Home Run Derby, and I believe one round of the divisional playoffs in one of the leagues. $500 million over X number of years, and they have an opt-out clause after this year or next year, and they're doing what everyone does. They keep saying they're going to use it, and they're going to opt out because they want to renegotiate it and not pay as much, you know. And then, and that's wise because they want something that's more exclusive to them, you know. So, you know, because that's what they're going to want to do. They're going to want to renegotiate and move it to like not ESPN on DirecTV, but Disney Plus instead of ESPN because that's the same company. But you can't watch it on ESPN. You have to watch it through your Disney Plus app because then you have to subscribe to the ESPN Disney Plus app, which is like through Hulu now or some shit. Whatever. It's so fucking confusing. But, I mean, they'll all renegotiate. That's what they're all trying to do. I mean, you know, but MLB doesn't want to because they want their $500 million. You know, they want the contract to keep going because it's a lot of. I think they were paying like $100 million a year over 5 years or something.
Yeah.
But that's what they'll do. I mean, that's what they're all doing.
Hmm.
They're just moving around to all the services so that you basically have to subscribe to all of them. Or every once in a while, you're going to miss something that you really want. It's no different than the thing we talked about earlier with the a la carte options with your television or Sirius or whoever. Yeah, they'll offer it. You don't have to get all those things, but you'll have to miss one or two things that you really want. Are you willing to do that or are you not? You know, that's the question. And some people will subscribe for a month, pay the $12, and then cancel. But a lot of people don't. I mean, if they're a business, even if you only subscribe for 6 months or whatever, they just keep taking your money. I mean,
Okay, quickly, let me just bring something else up since it has been happening this week. Has anybody been following the testimony of Cohen?
A little bit. I heard they were yelling in court. Was that true?
Anything's
I'm
possible.
not sure.
You know.
I mean, I follow, you know, like the coverage and what I've kind of heard, but I mean, it's not televised, and I'm certainly not going to read the transcript of what Michael Cohen.
Well, what
had
it
said.
is, they're all sitting there kind of repeating what's being sent to them from people in the courtroom as to what's going on. I'm surprised what they haven't done. They should get some actors to play the various parts.
Yeah,
Who
right.
would play Cohen in central casting?
Yeah. You know.
That'd be a
You know, I
good
know
role.
that I would be willing to pay like a
You could
little
really
fee, not a lot of money, but I would be willing to pay a little bit if they could maybe hire a sketch artist who can draw. And I can't draw worth a shit.
Yeah, they're not simple, stupid.
So like stick figures I have trouble with, but I mean if we could all just give like $1 or something and they could maybe hire one that looks like they're a sketch artist for a living, you know, not the guy that draws you and your wife at the fucking local festival or whatever. I mean,
This kind of looks like those things where, you know, I'll draw you a caricature of you for $1.
Yeah, when you're in Disney, we used to do that. They used to sit you down.
You know, a photograph.
it's New York City. I mean, isn't that like where artists and stuff live? I mean, come on, there's got to be someone there that can draw better than that.
It's, you know, I mean, I'm wondering if Trump is going to testify like he said he was going to.
No.
His lawyer's not going to allow
He
it.
won't, but I hope he does.
Yeah.
It's a bad move. It's a
He's
bad move for
not
him.
going to do that.
If he
What about the
does, he's
debates?
dead in the water.
Yeah.
He also
What about
thinks
the
he's
debates?
going to do
But, you know, I mean, the jury has the right, and I would probably say it, and this is not just for Trump, but I would probably say it if I were on a jury as well. I mean, the jury also, though, has the right to say, if this guy is so innocent, why would he not testify?
Yeah.
All these people lined up and said all these things, and he sat over there and he shook his head and he grumbled and all that, but he was not willing to get on the stand and say this
Oh,
is
that's what he himself said before the trial even started. He says,
And
I'm
you
so
don't-
innocent, I'll testify.
Right. And look, you don't have to do that. It's within your right. I mean, and I'm not arguing that, but it's within the juror's right to weigh whatever evidence they would like to make up their mind. You're the juror. And I mean, if I were the juror, I would question that.
Doesn't he give up his Fifth Amendment rights if he agrees to testify?
Well, basically, yes, because everything that he testifies to, he then is subject to the cross. He can't just get up there and only tell his side and his lawyer, and then it's done.
That's right.
Yeah, he has to be cross-examined by the prosecution.
This is why
And in
most
that setting,
lawyers
when you're
are-
asked a question, you must answer it.
I'm saying, part of me is saying he won't, and part of me is saying he will, because he calls his own shots, and he's a fucking moron. Okay, and he's an egotist, and he probably feels I can get up on the stand, and all America will know I'm innocent. The only thing it's not going to happen is it's not being televised, Donald.
I wish they had a camera in there, really.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, this is bigger than the O.J. Simpson trial for murder.
The only
Yeah.
missing is the
Not
Bronco.
really.
With his colleagues
Nothing's
taking
bigger
him at
than
the
the
end.
O.J. Simpson trial. That was.
I mean,
That was like surreal.
and
really.
honestly, there's a few more trials of his coming up that are of far greater importance and far greater consequence than this one. So I mean, this one has some of the salaciousness to it or whatever, but it's not the most important one that I think.
Yeah, but this is the one he could go to jail for.
Well, I mean, really, could go to jail for anything. I mean, any crime usually comes with jail. It can come with jail time.
Yep, any criminal crime. Yep.
Well,
Or at
today,
least the ones I've seen him charged with. I mean, look, people go to jail for leaking classified documents all the fucking time.
Today it was announced that that they're going to have a debate.
Seriously.
And what did you say?
Keep telling. Stop messing around. So
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
they keep saying bad words.
so they have they're going to have a debate, and Mitt Romney said today that he felt that it would be in
Joe Biden.
Biden's best interest to pardon Donald Trump.
Mitt Romney? Frog
Yeah, he said that.
Way to meet frog legs.
And I used to like Romney.
Why would he
No,
say
but
that?
his feeling was that he would take some of the sting out of the whole thing.
Biden would be the bigger man or something
Yeah,
like
Biden-
that.
Well, we had
Biden's a
pardoned
bigger man.
Nixon, we wouldn't have this mess now. Presidents wouldn't think they could get away with shit.
You know what I would say?
Then I
You know
started
what
to
I'd
think
say?
about it, and the fact is that the three other trials have been held off, okay, and probably will not happen before the fall and after the election, okay. Meanwhile, the only trial that's in play, Biden can't pardon him from, which is this state trial.
But I mean, my only issue with that is pretty much all the time, for sure, pardons go to people and come to people with contrition and who have already sacrificed something. In other words, Nixon was pardoned, and I know he didn't go to jail, but Nixon gave stuff up. He gave up the presidency of the United States and was outcasted into the woods as a banished wanderer, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He had a personal cost. I'm not saying he lived on the street in a box, but he sacrificed and gave something up and pretty much kept his mouth shut about it after that too. Trump is doing none of those things. If you do that, he stands to lose nothing and only gain. And he's never said, I'm sorry or anything near that.
I just
from
thought
day
it was
one.
a pretty kind of stupid idea on Romney's part.
Right.
Because to begin with, the one trial that's going and it is in play, he could not pardon him from that.
Yeah. I mean, they're very, I mean, when they pardon people who were in for drug offenses and all those kinds of things, those are people who generally got way harsher punishment than the crime because a judge was making a point or a prosecutor or because of some horse shit or whatever. And those people are saying, right, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. If you give me a new life, I'll be a productive citizen of this country. Trump isn't saying I want to be a productive citizen.
Nope.
He's basically saying I want everything I want, and if not, you're going to get a war. Yeah, I mean, that's not the kind of person you want to let off the hook.
Yeah. Anyway, I got the theme playing here. I've been out of sync pretty much for this whole show, so people out there, if you're bothered by it, I don't
By
know
the way,
why
Alex Bennett is alive and well.
Yeah, alive and well. That's correct. Josh, good seeing you tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow night, I guess, huh?
Yeah, we should.
See, we're getting weird days now.
Yeah, I'll write it down.
Yeah. Charlie, good talking to you tonight. Been a little quiet tonight, kind of a little tired.
Yeah.
Drooping out there. But that's okay. It's fine. We know you work hard at that, at being a baseball. What is it? Softball refereeing is what it is.
Softball, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Brian. Appreciate it. And tell Adrian and I appreciate her participation as well.
Please don't encourage her.
Oh, well, there she is. See? Yeah. And Scott Boddicker, good having you here. You know, it's like the old days. Jeff, you haven't said a word tonight, but yeah, you know. And Alan, thank you, and thank you to Kevin, and thanks to Tony for being with us tonight. Everybody give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye at you, okay? There they go, folks. There's the citizen panel. Now I'm in sync again, see? I don't know why that happens. I have no idea. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We'll see you again. Well, we've got Amy. She's next, right over the same station. She'll be taking your calls on Skype at Gabnet Live. I'll see you again tomorrow night. Same time, same station in life. In the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye, everybody.